Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, August 25th, and we are going to be talking about understanding the correct reading direction in a text. And excuse me, it's actually August 26th. I said that incorrectly. So let's start with a little bit of a review. We've been talking this week about letters, words, and sentences. On your screen, please point to the group of sentences. If you pointed here, good job. Remember, sentences are words grouped together, separated by white space. They begin with capital letters and they end with periods. Now, point to the group of letters. If you pointed here, fantastic. Also, I have two different types of letters in that group. What are the two different types of letters? Capital letters and lowercase letters. Very good job. This arrow is pointing to a capital letter, and it is J. This arrow is pointing to a lowercase letter, and that letter is I. Now, point to the group of words. If you pointed to this group of words, good job. Letters come together to form words. Okay, now let's also review the title, illustration, author, and illustrator. You will see that my arrow is pointing to a word that says feelings. Is this the title, the illustration, the author, or the illustrator? If you said that's the title, you are correct. Way to go. Now the picture on the front cover is also known as what? The illustration. Remember, the illustration is just a big fancy word for pictures. So the illustration is the pictures. Now, the author is the person who does what? Who can remember? Is the person who writes the book. And down here on our title page, it says written by, and then it gives a person's name. That person is the author, the person who wrote the book. And lastly, we have an illustrator. The illustrator is the person who creates the illustrations or the pictures, usually an artist. So at the bottom, right beside where the author is written, the illustrator is listed. And it will say illustrated by and then list their name. We've also talked this week about reading directions and where to go when we are reading. Point on this page where you would start reading. If you pointed to start reading at this capital I, you are correct. Just like we learned in Letterland, we start at the left and move across the page to the right. When I get to the end of my sentence, I have to go and do that pattern again, starting back at the left, going across the page to the right, and do it again until I get to the very last word on the page. Now, you'll notice that this sentence ends in a what? A period. Very good job. So I want you to notice that I followed a pattern going left to right, and then left to right, and left to right again. But when I get to the last word on this page, what do I need to do? I need to flip the page. So when I get to the end of page, I'm on this page, it would be page 3. I would flip the page and then be on page 4 and begin reading in the same pattern from left to right across the page. Now, I want everyone to take a look at this book. This is what a book looks like on the computer. So when you're reading on the computer, to go to the next page, you would hit the arrow that says next, and it will flip the page for you. So if I am reading left to right across the page like this in the reading direction pattern, and I get to the end of the page, in order to flip, I have to hit next. And you will notice that the page numbers need to go in order. So if I'm reading page 4 and then I hit next, the next page should be 5. If I'm not at the correct number, I need to go back and check where I am reading. I also want you to notice what the front and the back of the book will look like online. So if you're holding a book, you can show me the front and the back. But if you're on a book from maybe Raz Kids or Epic, it might be hard to identify the front and the back of the book. So remember, the front of the book is going to have our title, our illustration, our author, and our illustrator listed, and the back of the book is going to tell me about the book. It might be pretty blank and just have a little information at the bottom, but it also might have a lot of words. It just depends on the book that you're reading. This book, for instance, tells me what level it is and then some other interesting facts at the bottom that your teacher probably uses. As you get to reading harder books, the backs of the books start to look a little bit different. So online, this would be the front of the book, this would be the back of the book. Now let's talk about your assignment for today, Wednesday. You are going to log into Raz Kids, you're going to listen to the book, read the same book, and then take a quiz on that same book that you just listened to. So listen to the book, read the book, and take a quiz on the book. Then, once you are done, go back to your pathway, drag your check mark to the empty box to show me that you have completed that assignment. Thank you for joining today, and as always, if you need review, you can rewatch the video. See you guys tomorrow.